everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kenyatta. I am so glad to be back. I know I've been absent for the last couple of weeks. It's because I gave birth. I ended up being a week early. I ended up giving birth on August 17th instead of August 27th. I had a baby boy. His name is Tywin, and he's asleep right now, so I don't want to bring him on, but I will post a little picture of him instead because he's a crabby little baby when he's woken. But if he wakes up in the middle of this video, then I will go get him, but I may just post a picture of him instead. But I wanted to do a pregnancy update, basically give you guys the details, well, not really too much details, but some of the details of what happened in the labor room and what happened before I went to the hospital and into it. All right, so the day was August 17th. I woke up around 6:30 when I woke up. I woke my daughter up around like 6:45 to get ready for school and everything like that. So I was trying to get her ready and everything. I still felt fine. Next thing you know, around like 6:45, I was like, where's the damn bus? Okay, so the bus was a little late, so I ended up just getting up and about to give me something to eat. I basically just woke up to go use the bathroom, and then I felt fine. Like I wasn't having contractions or anything like that. I just felt completely fine. Go get some cinnamon toast crunch to eat, and I went and got me a bowl. I got my daughter some yogurt or whatever till we wait for the bus to come. And so the bus was a little late, but we ended up sitting down watching a little Tom and Jerry. So I ate my cereal, and all of a sudden, like a few minutes in, not even close to 7 o'clock, I started to get this huge cramp like on the side, and I was like, what the hell? So I just stood up. I was like, okay, maybe the baby was moving, like jumping, like I could see my belly like jump, like kind of pulse, like I could feel him moving. So I ended up just getting up, and I was like, okay, maybe he's just moving around and he's just cramping down there. Like I'm just cramping down there, sorry. I'm just cramping down there, whatever. So I stood up. I was like, oh my God, like really starting to hurt. So I sat back down. I was like, okay. So I just sat back down, ate my cereal, finished eating it or whatever, and I got another one, but it wasn't as bad. It was bad, but it wasn't as bad. So I ended up just getting started. I was like, okay. So I'm just like, man, I'm just cramping because having Braxton Hicks, because that's basically what I thought it was a Braxton Hicks. So I saw the bus, got my daughter to the bus, and I was fine once I got to the bus, and I was walking back in. I felt fine, and then all of a sudden it just came back, and I was like, okay, let me just go and just take a shower, because last time a few weeks ago I mistaken it for early labor, but it wasn't. They said I was having a little bit of contraction, but it was just Braxton Hicks. It was nothing to keep me in the hospital or anything like that. So that's why I didn't want to mistaken this one, go all the way to the hospital, and then they send me back home. That'd just be too crazy. So I wanted to just kind of weigh it out. So I was like, okay, let me just take a shower. But I was like, something told me to call my mom. So I ended up calling my mom. I was like, Mom, I'm having these contractions, and I kind of can't like get like, well, it's feel like contractions or cramps, and I kind of can't. And she was like, okay. I was like, I'm just gonna take a shower and just see what happens. It's probably just Braxton Hicks, me cramping. I just ate something, so the baby just probably just moving because I ate or whatever. She's like, okay, but I'm gonna come anyway. So it's like, all right. So she ended up coming, and I took a shower, and I was like, okay, it's a little, like, I would say the pain was maybe around a 4 or 5 when I was taking a shower. I got out to get my soap, and I was like, whoa. And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, this is contraction. I felt pain. I was like, okay, this is contraction. This is not normal. So I was like, all right, I'm definitely going to the hospital. So I ended up going back into the shower and finishing up, got back out, and got dressed. And that's when it really started to come. It's like, okay, these are contractions, because it's it's getting to the point where I just couldn't talk. That's how you know you're basically going to labor, when you just can't really talk because of the pain. So I ended up just going to the hospital. My mom came in, she got my son and my oldest boy, and we ended up leaving. So this was around maybe 7:10, 7:12 or something. I called the hospital and told them, hey, I'm on my way. And it was like, oh, well, how far is your contractions? I was like, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 minutes apart. And it was like, well, that's not really contractions. You might just be having Braxton Hicks or cramping. You can go to the office. They open at 9. And she was like, or you can just come here if you want. But that's like, we really want you to come in when it's like maybe like 2-3 minutes apart. I was like, these things hurt. I'm bringing my tail in. But really, they were like 4 or 5 minutes apart, because that's when I broke out my phone. I started timing it on the pregnancy app that I had. So I started timing it, and I was just like, okay, something like, this is definitely contractions. So I was like, Mom, these are not 10 minutes apart. These are more like 4 or 5 minutes. And it came stronger, and I was like, okay, yeah, these are contractions. I was in the driver's seat. I was driving. My mom was in the passenger seat. So I'm driving, and my mom, we get to the stoplight, and my mom was like, I think you should switch, because if we get pulled over, don't you have somebody in here, they can still give you a ticket, and they're not gonna let you go even though you're having contractions. I was like, okay, all right. I do not do well with pain at all whatsoever. I was just trying my best to be a trooper, but I was like, okay, Mom, you can just drive. And so I got into the passenger side, and I was like, Mom, you need to bolt for the hospital. Like, we need to roll. These things are hurting. So she started driving, and it's a straight shot to the hospital, maybe like 20 minutes away. We live like 20 minutes away. So I was like, Ma, I looked at her like, Ma, you're not driving fast enough. Ma, you need to floor it. Ma, I am going through pain. You need to floor this dang gas pedal, and let's go. Because I was like, oh, Ma, I was like, she's like, breathe through your nose. She's trying to coach me through, but I was like, oh, Mama, these are hurting. And then once we got to close to the hospital, and that's when it really got intense. I was like, ooh, okay, this is really serious. So I ended up just like trying to like sit up a little bit, like sit up or whatever, and you know, just, I don't know what I was trying to do. I was trying to just kind of relieve the pain a little bit, but I knew, I was like, okay, this is our contractions. I'm about to have a baby today. So we get to the hospital, and this is the really effed up part, okay? I get to the hospital. I did a early registration. I did it in like June or July. I did it in June or July, so that way I don't have to be stopped. They could just take me. I'll sign papers in the room, whatever. No. Ever. No. They're like, well, we don't have you in the system for giving birth today. We just have you for the 27th. I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, well, I'm early. Like, oh, just like, please. She's like, let me get your wheelchair, and we'll get this situated. So she takes me to registration. I was like, oh, shit, more minutes or whatever. We're at the hospital. It was probably like 8 o'clock by this time. 8 o'clock, 8:05. We finally get up, got the registration. I'm going through contractions. My mom, she had to help me out with signing stuff. So I ended up going to the room, and my son was in his, my mom finally got up there with me, and she was in the room with me, and all of a sudden those contractions was back to back. Back to back. I was like, oh no. I'm just giving you the real. I know you guys probably watch like the Health Discovery or whatever. They try to like edit that shit out and make it seem like it don't freaking hurt. That crap hurt. So I was like, okay. I was like, I want my epidural. I want my epidural. I want my epidural. I kept yelling for the epidural the whole freaking time, and I was like, I just want my epidural. It's like, okay, we'll get your epidural. We gotta sign papers first. I was like, okay. The midwife comes in, and she checks me. She's like, okay, you may be having a baby today. He put the heart monitor things on me, straps on me, and she was like, you're not having contractions, so it may just be pain in your pelvis. Like, that's where I feel it. It's just in my pelvis. It hurts so bad. She was like, okay, let me check you. She said I was at 4 centimeters, and she's like, okay, you're gonna have a baby today. I was like, all right. I'm still like, man, where's the dude with the drugs, man? I need my fix back, because I needed something to numb my black ass up. So they was like, okay. So they're trying to get, I didn't drink much. I just drank the milk that was in the cereal, and they were trying to get an IV in. What the hell is that sound? Oh, okay, it's my IV in. And so I was like, okay, trying to get an IV in, and all of a sudden, they just couldn't, and then they went in my hands, and they tried to go here. I was like, oh God, and I'm having contractions while they're doing this. And next thing you know, it started to get really like back. I think maybe around like 8:30, 8:35 maybe. They're like 8:30, I would say. And they were just coming back to back, back to back. I was screaming and hollering. They was like, don't scream, don't hold it in, just breathe through your mouth and all that stuff. But it was just so painful. And it's just like, okay. And then one of the nurses was like, okay, let me recheck you again. The midwife stepped out. She was like, okay, let me just check you again. So she checked me. She was like, oh my God, yeah, you're gonna have a baby right now, right here. I was like, right now. I was like, no. And then the midwife came in. She checked. She was like, oh yeah, you're having a baby today. You're gonna have one right now. I was like, no. And I was like, Mama, I can't do this. No. She's like, yes you can. Mama was like, yes you can. No, I can't. Yes you can. Mama, I need my epidural. She's like, no. They were like, no, you don't even have time for an epidural. You're about to have this baby now. I was like, oh. So I'm screaming and hollering. I mean, I am not taking the pain very lightly. I have never given birth naturally. This was my first freaking time. OMG. Let me tell you what it feels like. I'm not trying to scare you girls out there that's about to have a baby, whether you're trying to go natural or you're trying to do the epidural. I know why I got the epidural, and for my 2 kids I did the epidural. For this one I was just like, oh my God, okay, I'm about to do this natural. I was scared because I never gave birth naturally. I without, you know, the epidural. So I was just like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But every time no contractions came, I felt like I had to take a dump. And they were like, you're pushing. I was like, yeah, I'm pushing. It's making me push. Excuse me. And so they were like, okay, so just keep pushing and everything. And they were trying to get everything in. We got there at 8:05. Around 8:20, 8:30, the contractions started to get strong, and I was pushing, I was screaming all kinds of stuff. Like, you probably had to go to church and repent, all the stuff I was screaming. And at the last push, when they were holding up my legs, one of the ladies like, okay, if you do one big push, you'll be done. Like, if you just give us all you got, you'll be done. So with that, it encouraged me, hearing her say that, it encouraged me to even push even more, like harder, and really concentrate. It will be over. She's like, if you do this push, it will be over with. So I was like, okay. I didn't say okay. I was like, all right. I was like, I need to buckle down. I held my legs. They helped me hold my legs up, and I just pushed. I gave it everything I got. I pushed, and the baby just slid right on out. So yeah, it felt like pain, like a little bit of cramps down there. Like, it was 9-10 of the pain. I would rate this the pain that I was feeling, because I don't do well with pain. So oh my God, what else happened? Okay, so I gave that one big push, and the baby just came right on out. He was crying, and I was like crying. I was like, oh my God, no more pain, no more pain. That's the only thing that came to my mind, was that there's no more pain, no more pain. So the baby came, so Tywin was born at 8:59. That's how fast he came. Like, he came into this world. Have you around like 8:20, 8:30, and then all of a sudden he was here at 8:59. That is like amazing. But I was just sore. Like, I couldn't even like walk when they gave me Tywin, when they hand Tywin to me, my son to me and everything. When they had my son to me, I was like, oh my god, like I went through this naturally and it's just so amazing, like what the heck. And he was so tiny and he was perfectly fine, breathing fine or anything like that. They kept him with me for like an hour and 30 minutes. Usually they would take the baby right away and, you know, bathe them and everything and return them to the mother. But no, they actually kept the baby, had the baby stay with me for like an hour and 30 minutes at the most for us to bond and for him to realize, oh, this is my mommy. During my labor, my mom was trying to film and this camera was like kept like shutting on, shutting off. And she called up my husband. My husband was not even here yet. He was still overseas. So he was supposed to be here in a few days. And I was just like, oh my God, he's not even here to experience this. And my mom, you know, told him, hey, Kenyatta's having the baby. It's like, what? I'm not even home yet. Tell little guy to stay there. Stay in there till I get home. And so it was just really, it was a lot. It was emotional at the point because I was calling for my husband and, you know, during the pains and, you know, and everything like that. And at the end when he was born, it was just like, my husband's not even here to experience this. He's been to all the births except for this one. So it was like really heartbreaking. And it was just like, oh God, you know, he's not here and everything. He was supposed to come that following Saturday. I Skyped with him while I was there and he saw him and everything, so I could tell just by the look on my husband's face he was really bummed out because he wasn't there. But okay, so they will keep the baby with you for like for an hour at least, or for me it was like an hour and 30 minutes. So for me it was an hour and 30 minutes, and it was just really moving and painful because when I had to get up and take a shower, what the freak, I could barely even move. So sorry I am doing this a little late. Yeah, so let me see if he's up. Boy, he weighed oh my God, how much did he weigh? 6 pounds and 14 point, yeah, he weighed 6 pounds and 14.2 ounces. He is just a little cutie. Look at him. Oh my God, he's just a cutie. His hair is like all wild right now. He's just a cutie. Oh, and he's eating a lot. He pulled my hair back. But this is him. Oh, this is Taiwan. Put your arms down, boo. This is my baby boy. I love him so much. He is like my everything. And he's the new addition to our family. I am so happy. And yeah, his name is Taiwan. So hello everybody. You touched my lipstick? Yes, you did. He is so patient with me and joining me today to find out what happened during my labor and delivery. It was definitely quick. It was quick and it was just amazing. So, yeah, let me know what you guys want to see, and I will definitely try to get those videos up and film those videos for you guys. I will be doing a back to school one soon. I'm starting school next month, so yeah. So yeah, just let me know. Put in the comments below. And this is the little guy. My baby, my little sugar. Okay, well, I'm gonna go put this little guy back down, and yeah, leave any comments or any questions or that you have or anything like that. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye. Bye. Bye, you guys.